it's Nicole and welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. This is It's in the Details, and today's card is a 5x7 card showcasing the new Lacy Lacyers 5x7 dies, which are perfect for creating some fantastic mats for larger 5x7 cards. Plus, I'm using the Enveloper Hello stamp set and coordinating dies to embellish all of these layers. I'm going to start by stamping the Enveloper OK. I apologize. I said Enveloper Hello. I'm using the Enveloper OK images and coordinating dies. I'm going to stamp all of these on some smooth white cardstock using a ink that will work for Copic coloring. And I'm using the Misty because these have a lot of solid area on these images. I want to make sure I get a really good stamped impression. So I'm using the Misty so I can stamp them a couple of times. You can see they're a little faint in some areas. This is going to allow me to get that nice crisp black stamped image that is going to look much, much nicer. One thing to note with all of the black here, I went ahead and hit this with my heat gun before I started coloring, so I didn't have to worry that the ink would maybe bleed a little bit, simply because there's so much of it and the paper was really saturated and I wanted to start coloring right away. The colors of Copic markers I'm using are shown across the bottom of the screen. These are super fun images to color and really pretty quick. There isn't a ton of surface area on a lot of the images. For example, some of the flowers are solid black, and the way I like to kind of decorate some of these is to add some detail with a white opaque pen, which I'll show in a little bit. The face area is really the largest surface area there is on any of the images I'm using here today. For most of the color combinations, I'm only using a couple of colors or shades per color. Don't need a ton really to blend it out or anything like that. The face has 3 different colors plus some pink for the cheeks, which is going to be the R20. I'm using E11, E00, and E13 for the face, R20 for the cheeks. The little bows in her hair and her dress or shirt are R24 and R46. The orange flowers are YR04 and YR09. For this larger flower, I even pulled in a little R24 to deepen it down near the base of the flower. The greenery is all YG01 and YG17. Probably my favorite green combination. I really love this. Again, pretty quick coloring. You can see here, not taking a ton of time, just kind of laying that color down nice and quick. Once these are all die cut, I can add the additional embellishing with a white opaque pen. The yellow color combination is Y08 and Y18. And then the pink is RV00 and RV55. I'm going to take the coordinating dies for this Enveloper OK stamp set and die cut all of them. Then I'm going to take this white opaque pen and start adding detail, dots to a lot of the solid areas. This is just a fun and quick way to add detail. I'm going to go around almost everything. Because I'm not adding a ton of additional embellishment to my card here today, no sequins or other dimensional embellishments. The embellishing comes from the pen work here. Cute little dots to decorate. I'll even add some dots to the background from the stamp set itself. And then some glossy accents will finish decorating some of the elements on this card. I like to go around with little dots mostly, but you could do other designs if you like to do or you feel comfortable doing other things like that. I did some little just lines on one of the flowers, but for the most part, I stick to dots. I'm much more comfortable freehanding something easy like that. And the white really stays nice and white with this pen. It's a great opaque white pen. Even adding some white dots to the cheeks on the little girl, around the collar of her top, buttons, little highlight on her pocket there, a black glaze pen for the eyes. I always like to do that with the eyes because I really think it makes them pop. I'll add some detail to the bows in her hair with the white pen. And then once the black glaze pen on her eyes has dried, I will go back in with a white pen and add some little highlights too. Now the hello greeting is from the Enveloper Hello stamp set. I love this little thought bubble and thought it would be perfect for the background. These two layers are die cut from smooth white cardstock using those Lacy Layers 5x7 dies. One is the third largest die, and then the second largest is that scallop. These little dots all come from the Enveloper OK stamp set, and they're going to add some interest and really blend in and just help with the whole design of the rest of these images. I'll even add some white pen detail to these once I get everything all stamped and get a little dusting of ink on the background. You can add as many or as few of these as you want. I really love that they add to the whimsical feel of the design. And I made sure and went around the body, or the head rather, just a little bit, added a few dots here and there so that they weren't all just on top or following that top line of the florals and the girl. So that looks pretty good. I think I'll add maybe just a couple more, one right here on the left. Then I'm going to take a little Post-it tape and mask off the sides from the stitching line out so that that remains nice and crisp and white. And I'm adding a really light dusting of the Chirp Chirp Waffle Flower Dye Ink using an ink dusting brush and really just along the bottom edge there. And I'm keeping it fairly light. I only want a tiny hint of color on the background. Go ahead and hit that with my heat tool again. I'm going to darken it just a little tiny bit and pull the color up a little bit higher. Remove all of my masking. And then I'm going to start putting everything together and just securing all of these images with some nice strong adhesive. Those little stamped dots really kind of help serve as a guide, since I want those to be kind of following the line of the stamps. Tuck in some of these smaller florals, one clear here on the right side and the other two over on the left. I'm using some glue dots to attach these. They're a little bit smaller, and I like to use glue dots for smaller stamped and die cut images like this. I love the florals. I think they're so super bright and fun. Here's that white pen again, used to create detail on any of those black stamped polka dot or little dots all around the stamped images. Very whimsical, very fun. I'll take a little foam tape, layer this on the back of this panel. This is going to be the only panel that's raised up on the card design. And that's because it's white on white. I wanted it to have just a tiny bit of dimension so that it pops up from that next layer just a tiny bit. Secure that right in the center. Add the highlights to the eye. And then I'm going to take Glossy Accents and go over not only the eyes on the image, but several areas on the card, the centers of a couple of flowers, the dots on the design, and that thought bubble to give it a little bit of a glossy look, almost like a glossy type of sticker that you would put on a project. It just gives it a tiny bit of dimension, draws your eye into it, and makes the emphasis on that fun hello greeting. Add little glossy accents to a couple more. I'll mat this on a black cardstock stitched rectangle. This is the 5x7 one. It's actually a 5x7 die. Put this on a white 5x7 card base, and my card is all finished. For more product information, please visit waffleflower.com. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.